I'm just recording this with no editing at all. I have a script, so I don't waste too much time. So let's start this update video. As some of you guys might know, I left all Pizza Tower servers and I am currently taking a break from the community. In that time, some misinformation was spread, so let me get that out of the way first. No, I did not leave the community because of harassment. Nobody threatened, harassed, or disrespected me. I left because one of my video essays became a meme and I eventually got sick of everyone making jokes about it for reasons I will elaborate on later. And no, my next video won't be a review or a rant on the new Pizza Tower Patreon build. I was going to do it at some point, but I eventually just lost interest. My next video will be about Pizza Tower Sage speedrunning and will be an informative video rather than an analytical video. For the ones who saw my tweet about my next video, if I ever make a video about the new build, it wouldn't have this thumbnail, it would have this thumbnail. Some of you may know that I made a document describing all my criticisms with the new build's controls. It's safe to assume that Pizza Tower guy didn't read the document, but I got confirmations that Sertif did. After reading his reactions to the script, I have a request to him. Sertif, I ask to talk to you in private, not necessarily to talk about the game, but about what you think about my behavior towards the game and the people behind it, what my presence in the community means to you, and how I think I can improve my behavior. I promise I will be respectful towards you and others in the development team whenever then mentioned. The objective I have with this, getting off script for a while, the objective I have with with asking you to talk to you is because I genuinely want to improve as a person, and I know that I've done mistakes, and I just want to make sure that I didn't miss anything, and how can I act better in the future. Now that I got all of that out of the way, I want to elaborate on why I left the Pizza Tower community. When I first released the video The Best Pizza Tower Fan Game, I was really happy with the reception. Many people liked the analysis, the jokes, the presentation, and most people simply had really positive reactions to the video. I had and still have a ton of video essay ideas that I could put in practice. So, most of them being related to speedrunning. I was pretty excited to put this all into practice, so I did what might be my biggest mistake with this channel so far and released the video The Worst Room in Pizza Tower. I made this video with the intent of being something short that I could finish quickly so people would have something to enjoy while waiting for my next big video. Looking back at the video, I still stand for all the arguments I made. I never saw anyone argue against the points I made, which is actually quite disappointing because I was expecting to generate discussion with this video. The real problem with the video, at least as I see it, is in other things. The title was incredibly clickbaity, my tone was way too hyperbolically cynical, and the overall presentation can really come across as obnoxious to a lot of people. When I released this video, the initial reception was actually pretty nice. People thought my arguments were understandable even if they didn't exactly agree with them, and many also thought the video was pretty funny. But after a while, Pizza Crust releases a YouTube poop of my video, and at the time, I absolutely loved it. I took the joke very well, and I thought it was immensely funny. The problems start rising after other people saw the YouTube poop. People started joking about the video, and it was becoming more frequent every day until it eventually became a meme. Some people referenced it all the time, many people joked about the title, and so goes on. Sometime later, people in the modding database server also started making fun of my nickname Harmonikinesis. Several people purposefully miswrote my name and changed their server nicknames to a parody of it. This was something only a close friend, Lost Man, used to do. But now, with everyone doing that to me every time, my reaction to it progressively started to shift from haha, funny joke to nobody takes me seriously and I'm nothing but a laughing stock. In the official Pizza Tower Discord, sometimes people showed genuine anger or discontent with my behavior in the server. I would not treat myself as a victim. I am very well aware that I was disrespectful towards people, and I am sorry for that. But it still makes me sad that many people see, or at least seem to see me as an angry and problematic person that has an unhealthy hatred towards the new build and the developers. But what really got to me and made me insanely sad was Crayola's reaction to the Worst Room video. Their reaction was overwhelmingly negative, saying things I was not prepared to handle. After I commented on their response, they said that they didn't know I was the one who made the video and apologized. I hold no grudge against Crayola whatsoever, but this comment still makes me sad regardless because, especially taking into account they stated or at least implied that they still stand for most of what they said. I have no actual problem with that. Their opinions towards media should not be influenced by the fact they were made by someone Crayola knows or respects. The community's response to my presence overall just made me feel much more like a laughing stock and a problematic, hateful person, and eventually I decided I want to move away from that. There is another reason why I'm leaving the community, and that's because I just don't like the new build at all. I don't want to get too deep into the reasons why, so here's the summary. Even though I believe the controls received many improvements that are heavily appreciated, it also brought very annoying changes that just made the controls less enjoyable than before overall. The heat meter doesn't get close to ruining the game, but it barely gave any positive improvements to my experience. The hit stun just looks really obnoxious and annoying. It looks like every time I kill an enemy, an asshole pauses the game and then unpauses it while I'm playing. And usually, like in some cases, it actually messes up with the gameplay, making me miss inputs that I would usually do way earlier, but because of the hit stun, I'm supposed to do way later. The mod cancel was removed, and that makes the game way less enjoyable for me since it was one of the most useful and satisfying tricks to pull off. And the main reason why I don't like this build is the new levels are all just terrible. They all share similar problems. They feel way too similar in structure, with the exception of War, Sewer, and Exit. Instances of laughable surface level use of the transformations, are way too confusing to navigate, have an escape sequence that is way too long, which is not a problem by itself, but it becomes a problem when almost every single level after World 3 does that. Some have arenas that are very repetitive with barely any depth to the combat, and there are several instances where the area is bloated with enemies and obstacles that just make the game completely insufferable. There were things that I liked about the build, sure. There's the new stomp physics, British noise, the pistol, British noise, the fact that bananas disappear after you kill the monkey, British noise. Exit is actually pretty fun. It was the only level that was new that I actually liked, and British noise. But as a whole, I felt like the new build was a worse version of what I played before. If you love the new build and everything about it, that's completely fine. I'm not the god of opinions. That is just how I felt about everything. I am aware that a new version came out recently, but I didn't play that yet. So if there's something I said that doesn't apply to the new version, let me know. Now that I talked about all of that, I can talk about my next video. My original plan was to take a break from the community and come back once I finished my next video essay. However, after thinking a lot, I decided that I will most likely never come back. I simply no longer enjoy the game as much as I did, and I simply don't feel like playing it again, not even the Sage demo. My current plan is to finish the Pizza Tower video I was already working on, then move on to other projects for good. With that said, I might get back to making Pizza Tower videos in the future, but this will all depend on how people will receive the one I'm working on right now. Until then, my upcoming video essay is planned to be my last Pizza Tower video. Thank you for listening.